Tariq, in our previous video when we discussed about absconding, there are a lot of inquiries about absconding. Like people are still confused about how to remove the absconding, what is actually absconding and all. So can we have a much more discussion on this absconding topic?
So, Evan, actually there are two types of absconding case. One, it can be done through Ministry of Human Resources and Privatization, and the other one can be done through immigration.
Immigration. Okay.
Each one of them, they have their own procedure to be removed and to be following it up.
Okay.
The Ministry of Human Resources one, when you get the absconding case, it usually it gets done for 1 year.
1 year.
Yes.
It's called absconding in labor.
Yes.
Okay.
Unless the situation was major, then it might be staying for a long time period, unless you finalize the situation fully with your previous employer, and then the previous employer should remove for you the absconding, or through a specific system which they call as an istisna, yani exception system.
Okay.
Through that exception system, once the legal department will have a look at your documentation, they will confirm if it's okay to remove it, yes or no.
Okay.
That for labor. For immigration, it's a bit complicated situation, because once you get the absconding case from immigration, it's a long procedure. You need to follow up. They need to check with your previous employer, what's the reason of absconding. There are so many procedures. But first of all, from where you need to start, if we are talking about Dubai, then we need to start it from Al Awir Immigration Department, because that is the only department who is following up related to absconding case.
Where is this location of Al Awir?
It's called Immigration Al Awir. It's near to the central prison.
Okay, central prison.
Yes.
Okay.
It's available in Google Map. Once you mention Immigration Al Awir, it will take you there directly. Once you go there, you need to follow up. You need to show them your documentation, which is your passport copy, and preferably to have your old visa copies so that they can check based on your file number or UID number your entire case. They will tell you what's the absconding case. Now there are another two types of extra absconding case, inside UAE or outside UAE.
Okay.
Inside UAE, it's easy to go to follow up because you are still in the country, and you can go follow up and check what's the reason and to see what are the available options to remove the absconding case. But if you have an absconding case while you are outside the country, there is no way that absconding can be removed.
Okay.
As per the immigration, because I tried it personally, it's, you can say from 100 cases, one might be approved and might not be approved. There is no way we can confirm about it that it can be removed if the person is outside the country, unless you need to provide documentation in a way that proves that you actually haven't done anything wrong, and that's something very impossible to get some kind of proof and documentation to show it to immigration department, which based on it they can transfer the case to the court, and court will approve to remove it, yes or no.
Tariq, can we help those people who are planning to come to Dubai again? They went back to home country because of absconding or legal cases, where we can represent with the power of attorney and go to the immigration and check the process, and we can help them removing the absconding so that they can come back to Dubai to start a new life.
Well, obviously we can help them. As I told you, if they are willing to provide us a power of attorney, we can obviously initiate the process. But the thing is, we cannot give 100% confirmation that we can remove for them the absconding, yes or no, because as I have mentioned earlier, if the absconding through immigration department, then the chances to come back or to remove for them the ban, it's very, very less.
Okay.
Unless it's in Abu Dhabi. In Abu Dhabi, there is a specific government entity where you can go and type an exception letter to remove the absconding case. It might be approved, it might be rejected, and actually it's a procedure which takes time.
There are many cases where people come on visit visa and they may have an overstay, and that company, the travel agent, has put an absconding for that particular person. And those cases where the absconding can be removed only through the travel agent, or they can go directly and remove the absconding.
Well, as per of my experience at the moment, usually the travel agency, they are the one who should remove it. And to remove it, usually they charge the person for 3,000 dirham or even more, because the government itself charges them 3,000 dirham for the absconding case. But it depends how long you are staying in the country with the visit visa and you haven't done your change status. Because there are some situations where the government itself, they are being generous and they provide you an exception. But for that, you need to apply an application through AMA Center for an exception.
Okay. Suppose somebody has put an absconding. Is there any possibility to stay in the country, or he has to go back, or he will be put on jail?
Well, once he already has a fine, if he's having an absconding, that means he's already under the fines. That
Okay.
means that he's already illegal in the company.
Okay.
He has two options. Right now, the government of UAE has given you an option to extend your visit visa while you're inside the country. So the best solution to avoid this, if you didn't find a job yet, is to extend the visit visa while you're inside the country. It calls a change status procedure. You can contact any agency and they can help you to...
And what about the fines? I think the fines will be very huge.
To not reach to the point where they have a fine, they need to do it before the expiry of their visit visa within 3 days, maximum within 3 days to do the to apply for the change status, because it takes from 48 to 72 hours.
Without removing the absconding, they cannot leave the country?
Well, if they have an abscond, they need to go to airport immigration, which is in Terminal 3.
Okay.
They can go explain them the situation that they were not able to find a job and they are willing to leave the country.
Okay.
Then the immigration department the officer will be assisting them to let them get out of the country.
Suppose if they are leaving like this, is there any possibility to come back?
Well, chances are 50-50.
50-50.
Yes.
Okay. So it's better to remove the absconding and go back, because if people are leaving with absconding case, they will not be able to come back to Dubai.
It's not about they are not being able to come back. It will be difficult for them to later on to get an approval to get a visit visa back.
Visit visa back.
It's not because even if they got an absconding case and they went to the immigration department, they will be leaving.
Okay.
It's not they cannot keep them here by force. They will be leaving the country because they will explain what's the situation they will go through. However, they still need to pay the fines, because if in case they have a fine and they are not being able to pay it, then in that they will be on jail for a specific time till they finalize the situation. But sometimes it's being cleared because we are living in UAE, which is the safest country in the world, and we have the best support through from the government department.
Tariq has been associated with RITOS for all type of legal consultations, whether it is a labor case, a UAE labor law, absconding and all. And we were trying to support the job seekers in many ways, and we really appreciate your comments and replies which we are getting, and the inquiries we are getting daily basis. So whatever possible ways, there are so many people still with absconding legal cases, and where we will be able to support, we will be definitely doing the support. So be in touch with us for any type of legal assistance. Whatever possible advices, we will be able to support you. And thank you so much for watching us. Do support. Thank you.
Thank you.